The movie opens with Alice delivering a voiceover about being single. She says there is a right way to be single and a wrong way, and that people are embarrassed to admit they are single and pretend otherwise. She points out that people are living longer and marrying later, and asks why we always tell our stories through relationships. This story, she says, is about all the time in between, when real life might actually be happening. Alice is in a relationship with a man named Josh. She tells him she has never been on her own. She went from living with her parents to a dorm to living with him, and she needs to know who she is alone. She wants to take a break so she does not spend her life wondering what if. Josh thinks it is stupid and tells her she will regret it. Alice insists the break will be good for both of them. They say a reluctant goodbye. Alice starts a new job as a paralegal at a law firm in New York. Her co-worker Robin immediately takes her under her wing. Robin gives her a tour of the office and tells her which closet is good for personal calls and why she should never hook up in the copy room. Alice tries to explain that she is not really single, just on a break, but Robin does not let her finish. Alice's older sister Meg is an obstetrician who delivers babies for a living. Meg has built her whole life around her career and has no interest in relationships or children of her own. She is confident and self-sufficient. At the hospital, she delivers a baby while cracking dry jokes to the mother in labor, telling her she never wanted children herself because she did not want to give up her identity. Alice notices the bar below her new apartment is loud all night. She goes down to complain and meets Tom, the bartender who runs the place. Tom is charming and openly not interested in relationships. He lays out a theory about New York. It sounds like it has millions of eligible people, but when you filter by age, gender, education, and availability, the number gets surprisingly small. Alice tells him she is on 10 different dating apps to improve her odds. Tom lets her use the bar's Wi-Fi in exchange for her tolerating the noise. Robin drags Alice out for her first real night as a single woman and lays out the rules. Boys buy the drinks. You never go home early. You do not respond to texts for at least 4 hours. Robin spots Tom and introduces Alice to him as newly single. Tom buys them drinks and the night takes off. Alice wakes up the next morning in Robin's apartment with a hangover and a joint stuck in her hair, with no memory of most of what happened. Meg arrives with coffee and teases her. Alice runs into Josh at a diner. He tells her he is done with their time apart and ready to be together. Alice reveals she is seeing someone. Josh is visibly thrown. He says things feel different now and he is not sure he wants the same things anymore. Alice walks away stung. She goes home and spirals, telling Meg she is going to be alone forever. Meg tells her to stop watching Bridget Jones and focus on her career. Robin arrives and the three of them drink wine together. Meg is starting to feel a strange pull toward having a baby. At a hospital party, she holds a patient's infant and tries to talk herself out of finding it cute. She nearly succeeds, but the baby keeps smiling at her. Later, she tells Alice she has decided to have a baby using a sperm donor with no strings attached. Alice is genuinely thrilled. Then Meg adds that the co-op board found out Alice has been staying there and she needs to be out by Friday. Alice finds her own apartment. It is small and rough around the edges, but she decides she loves it. She starts settling into life on her own for the first time, learning how to be alone and figuring out who she actually is without someone else beside her. At a Wesleyan alumni networking event, Alice awkwardly overshares to the check-in person, who was only asking which event she was there for. Inside, she bumps into a man named David Stone. He is a widower with a young daughter named Phoebe, and he owns several buildings in the city. They banter easily and end up singing an embarrassing duet together. When his daughter calls, he has to go, but not before they share a real moment. Around the same time, Meg is approached at a holiday office party by a young man named Ken. He has clearly been noticing her. Meg is immediately dismissive. Assuming a man his age could only want something from a doctor, Ken is unfazed. He asks her out directly and tells her he likes the face she makes when she tries not to yawn. Meg, caught off guard, says yes. Lucy is a third woman whose story runs through the film. She is intensely focused on finding a husband and uses dating algorithms and spreadsheets to narrow down candidates. She meets a man named Paul at Tom's bar. Paul is warm and easy and genuinely delighted by her. They begin dating and Lucy starts to relax. Alice and David keep running into each other. One Christmas night, he takes her to the top of a building under construction with a view of Rockefeller Center. She had wanted to see the tree but talked herself out of going. He opens a tarp and she looks out. She tells him she always talks herself out of the things she really wants to do. He slips and says "we" when talking about future plans. She notices. However, David has a wall around his daughter Phoebe. He has never explained to Phoebe what happened to her mother. Alice spends time with Phoebe, and the two bond over a song together. David turns cold and protective and tells Alice she is not Phoebe's mother. Alice points out that she found out his wife had passed away from his doorman because David never told her himself. David shuts down and walks away. Lucy and Paul are getting closer. He gives her a scrapbook of photos from their time together for Christmas. It is sincere and she is touched. Then Paul mentions casually that he is also seeing other people, assuming that is just how modern dating works. Lucy is blindsided. She tells him she was looking for her soulmate and walks away. Lucy ends up reading a story to children at a library. She goes off script and begins ranting about relationships and princes and Spanx to a room of confused kids and alarmed parents. A man named George gently steps in and steers things back. They talk afterward and George asks her out. Lucy laughs and says yes. Josh shows up at Alice's apartment to return some of her old things and tells her his girlfriend Michelle is moving in the next day. Alice holds it together until he fixes something in her apartment that was broken, and then she cries. After he leaves, Robin warns Alice to stop going backwards and not to hit 11 drinks with Tom, explaining her theory that every male-female friendship has a total number of drinks at which sex becomes mathematically inevitable. Alice and Tom hit 11 drinks anyway. They sleep together and immediately acknowledge it was a mistake. Tom admits he has feelings for Lucy but does not know what to do with that. Alice admits she is still sorting herself out. They part without drama. Meg's IVF procedure works. She is pregnant. She tells Ken, who is immediately enthusiastic and says he would love nothing more than to stay home with a baby all day. Meg tries to push him away. Ken calls it what it is. He says this is not him leaving. This is her pushing him away. He tells her he loves her and gives her space. Robin secretly invites Josh, Tom, and David all to Alice's birthday party at the same time. Alice is furious. She and Robin have a blow-up. Robin tells Alice that every time she is in a relationship, she disappears into it and forgets who she is. Alice fires back that Robin only wants her around when she needs a sidekick. It is raw and honest, and both of them mean it. At the party, Josh pulls Alice aside and admits he is engaged to Michelle but is not sure he wants to go through with it. He wants closure. Alice stops him. She tells him she has been so obsessed with the idea of love that she keeps losing herself every time someone looks at her. She says she wants to be alone, and for the first time she truly means it. She congratulates him on his engagement and walks away. David finds Alice at the party and apologizes. He has started talking to Phoebe about her mother, showing her that protecting his daughter from grief was not the same as helping her through it. They reach a quiet peace. Meg goes into labor early, and Robin delivers the baby in the back of a taxi. Alice is there beside her. Ken shows up at the hospital. Meg tells him she could handle all of this on her own, but that she does not want to. She lets him in. They look at their daughter Madeline together. The film closes with Alice's voiceover. She reflects that the time we have to be single is really the time we have to get good at being alone. But she wonders how good at being alone any of us truly want to be. Some people take baby steps to settle down. Some refuse to settle at all. Sometimes it is not statistics, it is just chemistry. And sometimes just because something is over does not mean the love ends. David finally sits with Phoebe and talks openly about her mother. He shows her old videos and they sing her favorite song together. Alice, for her part, is standing alone at the rim of the Grand Canyon at sunrise, watching the new year come in with the dawn. She had always talked herself out of this trip. This time she did it. She stands there alone, really truly single, in the one quiet moment before it is gone.